Welcome, everyone, to this Scratch Create Along, and just a huge thank you to everyone for dealing with all these technical difficulties we're running into, but we're all here now, and let me just go over the beginning of the stream really quickly. This is the Scratch Create Along, in which you can make projects in a 1-hour live stream with me, Zoe, also known as Zinnia on Scratch. The plan for today, I hope this isn't too much going over the same material, but I just want to go over it for people who are just joining now. Here's the plan for today, which is that we'll gather. What I forgot to leave out of this plan, what I forgot to put into this plan was spend many minutes dealing with technical difficulties. But you know, you never plan that; it just happens. We'll gather right now, and then we will take a look at the projects that were shared 2 weeks ago and the projects that were shared 1 week ago. Usually we just look at last week's, but due to other technical difficulties, we're going to look at the past 2 weeks this week. And then I will share the prompt for this week's activity, and then we'll all get to make projects using that prompt. And I also think we'll go over a little bit today because we started late. So thank you so much to everyone for your extreme patience in all of this. But we're back on. Oh, and tell me if it ever gets too loud. I think I tried to make my microphone really, really loud enough, but it might be too loud now. But I'm looking at all your comments, so I'll check it out. So, let's take a look at the projects from 2 weeks ago. And I'll do that by clicking at this button. Oh, that is my streaming software. Haha. Let me cover that for a second. You don't need to know how that looks. But it's a great software. Anyway, so the prompt from 2 weeks ago was introduce a character. I loved seeing these projects so much. Oh my gosh, with the prompt, introduce a character, people just took it in so many directions. And like, you might have heard me, I'm not sure if you heard me talk about this when I started trying to do this stream, but I'm just gonna say what I wanted to say again, in case you didn't, because I know it was quiet before. Oh my gosh, so many wonderful characters, just like so many wonderful different types of animal characters, like cats, dogs, fish, horses, bears, just so much adorableness, so many different types of creatures with actual pictures of dogs. I loved that. And then flowers, I don't know if that counts as an animal, but I loved it. And then just like so many different original human characters, like there's characters here, there are like so many different varieties. Oh, there's unicorn. Yeah, just like so, people's different characters are so unique, and like people did their favorite characters from books and games and stuff, and it was just awesome. So thank you to everyone who joined 2 weeks ago. I love this studio. And then last week, the prompt was create a story, and these projects were so wonderful as well. Like just like seeing people's original artwork, seeing the like different types of ways of making a story interactive. Like a lot of these have different ways that you could like press a button to make something happen or to make a character say something, but they're all different, which is so cool. I love, and they like, oh, cool animation in this one, and this one like walking and fish animations. So I love seeing these projects as well. Thank you to everyone who joined a week ago also. And now I think it is time to talk about this week's prompt. Let me switch it to being at my face. Are you ready to hear this week's prompt? I know technically it is in the title of the video, but I'm just still gonna say it. So, this week's prompt is make a virtual pet. So, you can take that any way you want. Make a pet in Scratch. Scratch has lots of characters in it that you could use to like have one of those be your pet. That's a great place to start. You could also take a picture of your actual pet you have and make a project about that. And I'll show you how to do all these things. You could do a project of drawing your own pet. Someone actually asked a question if they could do that. You totally can. And I'll show you how to do that as well. you can make a completely fictional pet, really just anything you want to do. Does that sound good? I hope so. So, I think let's get started. And if you're new to Scratch, or if it's been a while, let me show you how you can get started with Scratch. So, to do that, where's that link? Yes. You're going to want to go to new tab, scratch.mit.edu. So yeah, just go to scratch.mit.edu, and I'll keep this link up for a little while in case anyone's joining now. Welcome people joining now, if you're joining now, and again, just a big thank you to everybody for dealing with all of the audio troubles we had, but I think they're fixed now, and I appreciate you all sticking with us. And I am so excited to make pets with all of you. Let's go to scratch.mit.edu, and then you can click on Create. And clicking on Create will make a project. Let me first just show you like the sort of basics of Scratch, which I will do if this page loads ever. No, it'll load. I'm sure it will. Keep sending in your questions in this questions link. I'll answer them. So let's close this tutorial that pops up. If it's your first time seeing it, this is Scratch. This is the page where you can make a Scratch project. And in Scratch, you have these characters down here who can be all the characters in your project. And then over here, you have these blocks that all sort of say something that a character could do. So this one says, move 10 steps. And in Scratch, if you click on a block, it will actually make the character do that thing. So if we click on this, then the cat moves 10 steps. So, you know, and you can kind of guess what it might do. If you drag out one of these, it says turn 15 degrees. It's probably going to make the cat spin in some way, but let's see. Yeah, so if we click on that, it makes the cat turn. You know, this one, go to random position, I guess that's probably will make the cat, you know, let me zoom out a tiny bit. It attached to that one, but you can also just have it be on its own. When I click that, it makes the cat go to a random position. And basically in Scratch, you can combine these in whatever way you want. So if I want a cat to go to a random position and then turn 15 degrees, I can click on that, and it goes to a random position, and then it turns. So that's like the basic idea of Scratch. And these are all sorts of blocks that have to do with moving a character, but there's also different things you can do to a character. So there's like, you could change how it looks. Like you could have it say something. So you can have, oh, you know what? Maybe this code is a little bit under my video. There we go. I hope you all got the link to go to scratch.mit.edu/create to start making a project like this. Maybe I'll take the link off now, but there we go. But if you're joining later in the stream, you can send in a question, and if you want me to say what that link is again, it's just scratch.mit.edu/create. Anyway, so you could click on this one, and then it makes the cat say hello in a speech bubble. But you could have it say whatever you want. You could say, hi, friends. I misspelled friends, didn't I? Hi, friends. There's all kinds of blocks, and you can sort of play around with different ones. So that is the idea of Scratch. But if you still like more of an explanation, send that into the comments, and I'll answer it. So that's the basic idea of Scratch. But how can you get started making a virtual pet project? Let me show you. Maybe I will maybe get rid of the cat. You could have the cat be your pet, but maybe we can click the delete icon to get rid of the cat. And I would say a good first step in making a pet project is you can choose a pet. And I say choose because in Scratch we have a lot of pre-made characters. And so if you hover over this button here, this little cat, it says choose a sprite. And then you can go up to this icon and click choose. And it takes you to the sprite library, which has tons and tons of pre-made characters. And many of these, any of these could make a great pet. So you can scroll around. Oh, I saw some questions coming in. Someone asks, can I make more than one pets? Totally, you totally can. Thanks for the question. And I think someone else asked, can you make an object be a pet? You can totally do that too. So, I mean, if you click on the animals category, there are tons of animals you could choose from that could all make wonderful pets. But you can also type in thing in this search bar, which is a way of getting all of these objects we have. And there could be lots of great pet options here too. Personally, I think the rocks would make a fantastic pet. Also, I feel like the jar would make a nice pet. Yeah, so anyway, you can totally make objects your pet. But for now, maybe I'll look at animals, because this could be, you can look at all of the animals we have here and pick one of these to be your pet. So maybe I have always wanted a pet dragon, so I'm going to pick the dragon to be my pet. So that could be a nice first step, is just click on this button here, choose a sprite, and then pick out some creature to be your pet from here. So, hope you've all gotten to get to that point. You would also, of course, be independently doing your project while I'm talking about all this, but if you'd like to, here's some steps you could follow along. So you can pick a creature to be your pet, and then you can, let's see, what should we have our pet do to start out with? It seems sort of nice to have our pet say something, to sort of introduce itself. Whoa, I zoomed in a lot. The blocks got very big. I'll maybe make them a little bit smaller. Yeah, so you can drag that out and click on it, and now, the dragon's saying hello, my lovely little pet dragon here. Anyway, that's nice. You can say, my name is, what should the name of this dragon be? Let's see. Someone asked, can you make a robotic pet? You totally can. And maybe I'll make this dragon's name be Robot, in honor of that. Even though it's definitely a real dragon. So, my name is Robot. That's a cute little dragon named Robot. And so, you can, now let's see, maybe we want this dragon to say this, like, when we start the project. And to do that, this green flag button is the button you click to start a Scratch project. And now, how do you make something happen when you click the green flag? Well, you can go over here to the events category, and these are all blocks that can start something happening. So this block will start things, make things start happening when the green flag is clicked. So you can drag that over here, and now we've attached this when green flag clicked block to this say block. And now, when I click the green flag, it says that in a speech bubble. So that is a way to start making a project with your pet. Now, let me see other ideas of ways you could add to your pet project. One is you could choose a background for it to live in. So that's just, if you go down here, you can click choose a backdrop. And then you've got all these different backdrops to choose from. I'm trying to think where I'd like my dragon to live. I'm a big fan of this. I like the forest. I like the desert. Maybe I'll pick the desert. So got my dragon in the desert named Robot. So yeah, it's kind of nice to pick like a place for your pet to live. And then you could also add sort of toys for your pet to play with, or food for your pet. And you can do that. You can add as many sort of characters or objects to your project as you want. So I'll go back to where I got the dragon from, which is just hovering down here to choose a sprite, and then go up to click choose. And then, there is this food category, which I could click on, and to get some idea of what my dragon might like for food. I think dragons would like cake. Yeah. So now we have cake for our dragon. So yeah, I think that's like, oh yeah, and here's one thing to notice. When I added the cake, it looked like all that code went away. But that's just because when you've selected a character here, you just see the code that's for that character, because every character has their own blocks. So the dragon does this. It, like, when the green flag is clicked, it says my name is robot. But the cake is not going to do that. The cake is, doesn't, those same things wouldn't apply to the cake. You could make the cake do something else. Like, we started that other one with this when the green flag is clicked block. But we could start the cake doing something with this when this sprite clicked block, which instead of it getting started when you click the green flag, whatever you put here will get started when we click on the cake. So we could make the cake up in the sounds category. There's this start sound block, which will start playing a sound. So we can attach that there. And now when we click on the cake, it plays a little happy birthday sound. Anyway, so I love this little dragon and its cake. So yeah, that's kind of how I'd start making a pet project. But you could start any way you like. And if you'd like more sort of tips or advice on how to get started, ask away. Now, let me get to answering some questions. Let's see. So, okay. So someone asks, where is the studio? The studio for this week is in the YouTube description for this video. If you scroll down, there's a couple of links, and one of them is the link to the studio for where these make a virtual pet projects, and you can add your projects to the studio. If you don't know how to add to a studio, don't worry at all. I'll show that at the end of the stream. Oh, and also, I should mention, another one of the links down there is a base starter project, which you could also use to get started in your project. Actually, maybe I'll show that now. So if you're looking for another way to sort of jump into making your virtual pet, another option is this starter project link in the description. And that link will take you here, which is this virtual pet starter project we've got. So when you open up this starter project, it says, like, here are some ideas of things you could do. Like, you could change the pet, change the background. And let me show you how you could do that. So you can click See Inside, and clicking See Inside will let you look into the code of any Scratch project and see how the person who made it did it. With this project, there's this monkey, and it has a ball and bananas and a glass of water. And so you could, now that you've opened this up, you could change it and make it your own. That won't change the original project that the person made. So one of the suggestions was, like, maybe you want to not have a monkey, have a different character. What you could do is, if you want to keep these, like, you could just add a character from here, like, hover over, choose a sprite, and click choose. You could also actually, you know what, let me show you how to do that. I'll show you how to do that. So you just hover over, choose a sprite, and click choose. And then maybe for this one, instead of a monkey, maybe we want a pet bat. I think this bat is adorable, so I definitely want a pet bat. And then, now we've got a pet bat, and the monkey, you could, if you wanted the bat to still do these things, you could take this, like, block of code and just drag it over to the bat, and then you see how you just drag it over where the bat's icon is, and then click on the bat. It's right there. So that's how you can get if you say you want these things that the monkey does to apply to the bat, you can drag that over as well. Put that in as well, and then maybe I'll get rid of the monkey, and now we have a bat instead. And maybe I want the bat to say, what should the bat say? I'll just say, hello. Yeah, it's cute. So anyway, you could also change the background by clicking choose the background, and do whatever, I don't know, wherever you want the bat to be. I think the bat in the forest could be nice. So yeah, so that's, you can just go in and change this code of this starter project however you want. And yeah, anyway, let me know if you'd like more examples of how you could work with the starter project. Yeah, let me look at these questions. Okay, someone says, what is your favorite animal? Oh, it's a great question. I do love cats a lot. I also really love dogs. If fictional animals can count, I would probably say dragon. But I think that maybe my favorite is a fox. I love foxes. Yeah. So anyway, I think I'll say foxes right now. I love foxes. I also love owls. I love a lot of animals. And dragons. A fun fact is, when I was a kid, I had a pet tortoise. And I really wanted to have a pet dragon, so my tortoise's name is Dragon, because it was wishful thinking. Also, I like tortoises too, clearly. Let's see. Okay, more questions. Oh my gosh, I love seeing the questions. Okay. Someone says, can I draw my own pet? You totally can. Let me show you a little bit of how you could do that. Let's see, I'll make a new project for this. I'll show a few ways you could draw your own pet. Waiting for it to load. Where I'm going to scratch.mit.edu and gonna click on create, which is how you could create a new project. Also, if you're just joining the stream now, welcome. It's really nice to have you join. This is the Scratch Create Along, where we get to make Scratch projects together for an hour. We started a little bit late today because we had some audio issues, which thank you so much, everyone, for your patience as we figured out what was causing those. And we're going to go a little bit, we'll go to like a little bit 10 minutes after today, just so we get the full hour of creating stuff. Anyway, the question that people just asked, and oh yeah, and if you're just joining now, you can ask questions at this link that is right below there. So yeah, ask any kinds of questions you want. The question that someone just asked was, can I draw my own pet? And I just wanted to show a few ways that you could draw your own pet. So I'm going to get rid of the Scratch Cat. Goodbye, dear Scratch Cat. You will be missed. And then I'm gonna hover over this choose a sprite button. But instead of clicking this choose, you can go up to paint, this option that appears, and click paint. And then that will take you to, it makes a new sprite, and you can actually just paint and control what it looks like. So I'll show a few tips of for drawing a character in this paint editor that appears, drawing a pet, that is. This mode of drawing is one, it's called vector art, and it's one where you can create sort of shapes in your drawing, and then you can actually move them around by clicking on this select tool. And you can also with this it'll say, I think it's like reshape tool, you can actually sort of control, you can edit the points of a shape. And so there I just clicked somewhere and then I dragged it up, and now it sort of looks a little bit like the ears of some creature. And then I can click here to add another point here, and I'll drag that down. That's my like really quick way of making ears, and let me show that for you again in case you missed how I did that. So by clicking here, clicking this circle tool, I'll drag and make a circle. And then you can click on this reshape tool, and then anywhere, and so it shows that this shape is made up of these 4 points. And then it's like a curved line in between all the points. And then you can add more points to sort of the outline of your shape. So if you want to have ears up here, you could click a point here. You just click anywhere on the outline to add a point, and then you can drag it upward, and that makes kind of a little ear. And then you could do the same on this side. I'll just click here on the outline, and then drag that upward, and then I'll also click to add a point there, and then drag it down, and that makes kind of like the top of the head. So yeah, that's like some of how I get started with drawing. You can also just do a lot of drawing of your pet with just making circles. So you can click up here to change the color of the circle you're about to draw. Maybe I'll give this pet green eyes. So you can click to change the color. You can click anywhere on this sort of rainbow color slider to pick what kind of color it is. And then within that color you pick, you can make it darker with this by dropping the brightness of it, by dragging this brightness slider down. Actually, maybe I'll make it have brown eyes. And if you're wondering how to make a brown, it's if you go to orange, it's a little counterintuitive, but if you go to orange and then you bring the brightness down, then you can make a brown. And then what I was saying is that with making circles, you can make so much of a creature. So, you know, some eyes can be sort of ovals or circles there, and then maybe to do a nose, you could do another little oval, and maybe I'll make the nose be black, so I'll drag this brightness all the way down, and then that'll make black. And then if I make the nose going this direction, oh, it kind of looks like a little bear. Yeah, and so anyway, that's like a little bit of how you could start drawing a pet. I love these little creatures. They're so cute. Maybe this will be like the parent or something. This is the child. So I think that's just some of how you could get started drawing with the vector paint editor in Scratch, drawing a pet of your own. But anyway, send in more questions if you'd like more ways you could draw a pet. Let's see. Okay. Flower asks, what are your tips on animating? Hi, Flower. So yeah, maybe I'll show some tips on animating with this little character I drew. I might delete this character for now, which I can do by clicking on this shape and then just clicking delete on my keyboard. And then if I want to sort of move this towards the middle of the sprite, or the middle of this drawing, I can click with this select tool. I can click and drag, and then sort of drag it into the middle. And it's actually really easy to center it with this new tool. You just center it right there. Nice. So I think some of my tips on animating, and maybe we could do a full create along on animating, because there's just so many different ways you can do it. One of my tips on animating is I will duplicate this picture of that I've drawn, so that I don't have to draw it all the way like new again. It'll start out with like a copy of it, and then I'll just edit that second one a little bit. Actually, let me do a mouth for this creature. I will do maybe I'll have that mouth be also a black circle. So I'll drag the brightness all the way down to black, and then I'll make a little mouth like that. And now I will duplicate. So maybe it's like talking. So let me show you how. Actually, I did that really quickly because I'm in the habit of it. You can, to duplicate, to copy the drawing you did, you can right click and then click duplicate. And now you've got two of them. So if I edit this one, then I can have two of these sort of costumes, and then I can animate between them. So I'll zoom in, which by pressing this button, and then, one sort of easy way to start animating is just start sort of changing the shapes a bit. So maybe if I was going to make it talk, I could have this one be like an open-mouthed pose, and then have this one, I can squash this shape in, and now we have like a sort of a closed mouth pose. So if I switch between these, it's like it's talking. And and then now I'm switching between these by clicking on one or the other. And by the way, anyone who's wondering why I'm not wrapping up yet, I'm going to go a little bit over today. I'm going to go to about 2:10 Eastern time because we started a little bit late. So we'll get a little bit of bonus time together. Let's go back to the, so now you've got this little animation where it has the two different mouth poses, and then I'll go back but how could you do that in the code? How could you make it switch between them? There's this really helpful block in the looks category, which is this next costume block, and let me zoom in a bit. So with this next costume block, you can actually switch between the costumes in the code. And then now, before in the stream, I was showing that let's say I want to do this animation when I click the green flag, because the green flag is sort of like the start button for Scratch projects. What you can do is connect this little next costume block to a when green flag clicked block. Because if you have a when green flag clicked block, then anything you attach to it will happen when you click the green flag. So I can click the green flag, and now it animates a little bit. And you could even put that in a loop. Now, what's a loop? It will make it, a loop is, let me show you what one is. A loop is just one of these blocks that's sort of like a mouth that says repeat, or forever. And what it does is, it just, if you put, you can see that this little shape here, a block, will fit really nicely there. Any block that you put inside a loop will happen as many times as the loop tells it to. So this, if you put this next costume inside this repeat 10 loop, oh my gosh, it animated so fast because it's just doing next costume really, really quickly. So let's put a wait in there. Let's slow it down. We'll have it do next costume and then wait 1 second. And now if I click it, yeah, it like animates the mouth open and closed. But 1 second is a little bit long. Maybe I'll change it to something like 0.3 seconds. And then it opens the mouth. So you can have it be talking. And then you can attach this to the green flag to have it sort of talk when you click the green flag. So those are some of my tips on animating. Maybe we'll do more stuff about animating later because it's very, very fun. But yeah, thanks for the question, Flower. Okay. Let's see. Oh, someone asks, can we just take a photo of our pets? Yes, totally. You could take a photo of your pet, have it be in the project. You could take a photo of like a book or something. Wait, 1 second. I have this Totoro journal. I kind of want to make a pet project with this, taking a picture of this Totoro journal and have it be my pet because it's extremely cute. So yes, you could take a picture of your pet. You'd also take a picture of an object around you, have that be your pet. Someone asks also, oh yeah, can you add a pet picture from the internet? Totally. Make sure you give credit to the image in like the notes and credits of your project, but totally. Oh my gosh, infinity of cute animals on the internet would be great in these projects. And we have another question about the paint editor. Someone asks, what's the difference between vector and bitmap? It's a great question. All these are such great questions. Yeah, let me show you the difference between vector and bitmap. So I mentioned before that this is drawing in vector art mode. In vector art, here are the features of vector art. Let me pick out like a red color so you can see it a little bit better than a black. In vector art mode, it's really good for making shapes and then changing them later. So I can drag around to create this circle, but then I could decide that I want the circle over here and grab it and pull it over there. Or, I could decide that I want to click on this reshape tool and grab one of the points of it and make it like a C. It's really easy to just make those changes. So it's vector art is not like that. It's not that easy to like draw as you would on a piece of paper. It's you more think about the shapes that something's made up of, and then you can like create those shapes, and then it's really easy to change them if you want to. Now, on the other hand, let me hover over. Oh, you know what? I can hide the. I think this should work. Oh yes, haha! I added a new trick. I can hide the questions button if I want to show something that's down here. And thank you all for sending in comments that would have been helpful. So down here, if you click on choose a costume, you can actually click paint and paint a new costume. I'll paint a new costume to show you, and now I'll put the questions link back up to show you what bitmap mode is like. So that's vector mode. It's good for making shapes and then moving them around, changing them whenever you want to. Now, if you click down here, you can click convert to bitmap. And now we are in bitmap mode, and these tools on the side change. And now what bitmap mode is good for is it's really good for painting directly on the canvas. So it's a little bit more similar to drawing on a piece of paper. The first tool here is this brush tool, and so you could write something, you could draw something. So I could draw oh wow, my computer's a little laggy, so this is going to be quite an angular creature, but you could draw a face with some ears, and draw eyes, and a little smile. Oh my gosh, I love this little being. Wow, this is so cute. And then you can click on the fill bucket and color it in. You can make the color a little bit more pale. Click and click with the fill bucket. So bitmap sort of makes it easy to just draw right on the canvas. But then the drawback is that if let's say I was like, oh, okay, no, I want to move this right ear. You can't, there's no select tool. You can't like grab that right ear. You'd have to like select something in a rectangle, but then you can't just get the ear, you're also gonna get the face too. So, in vector, it's really good because you can undo, so it gets its ear back. In vector, you could do that. So you could be like, actually, no, I want the C over here. So it's like a phone that this creature is calling on. I just made it smaller. Or then I could be like, actually, no, never mind. I just want the C over here. You can change your mind. You can move things, but in bitmap you can't. So that's like the difference between vector and bitmap. Thank you for the great question. Let's see. Oh yeah, and I noticed that YouTube is cutting the stream in and out occasionally. So sorry for the stream drops that you're experiencing. I hope we can make that better as well. I think we'll start wrapping up in like 5 minutes. But I maybe can answer just a couple more questions. So, okay, we've got questions. Someone says, how do you edit sprites? It's also a great question. Let me show you. So, if you hover over this choose a sprite button and click choose, so I showed how to draw some of your own sprites. You can also edit sprites from the library here. So let's pick a character to edit to be our pet. Yeah, we could edit this butterfly. Sorry, my computer's being a little bit slow. So we'll go over to the code and so now we got this butterfly that could be our pet. And how you can edit a sprite is so let's say you're coding your pet in this code tab. You can click over to this costumes tab, and now you can edit that character in the paint editor. So you could click on this fill bucket and recolor some segment of it. So click there on the wings to recolor it, or you could click on this select tool and select everything, and then if you grab this anchor down here, you could rotate it. So yeah, those are like how you can edit a sprite. Is you might be starting out from the code tab, but you can just click on the costumes tab and edit the appearance of a sprite. So yeah, thanks for that question. Oh yeah, let's see. Oh, someone else asks, can you make food for your pet? Totally. So one way you could do it is if you hover over this choose a sprite button here and click choose, then we have tons of food you can choose from, like right over here. If you click on the food category, it's an easy way to get all of it. You could add in any of these foods you want. So maybe your pet loves bread, maybe it loves fruit salad. Fruit salad is very fun. So you can add food for your sprite that way. You could also upload a picture of food. So if you hover over the choose a sprite button here, but then go all the way up to upload, yeah, you could just upload a picture of food for your sprite. And you could also go to paint, and then and then you could draw your own food. So like I think I could probably draw an apple very easily. So go to the circle and click on the color and set it to red, and then that's an apple. But also, if I wanted to make it a little bit more clear that it was an apple, you can click on this line tool and you can draw a little line. Maybe I will click the select tool and select this line and make it a little bit bigger, increase the thickness of the line. But yeah, now you got a little apple. That's like super simple food. Someone asks, what is the big T shape in the editor? This, I think if you're talking about this T shape, this is a text tool. So you can actually click on that and let me set the color to like red or something. And then you can click somewhere and write text. So I'm an apple. Yeah. So that's what that T is you can actually write text right there in a sprite. Oh, thank you for all these questions. Let me see if I have time to answer one of them really, really quickly, and then I'm going to wrap up. This question was, can we make our pet follow our mouse pointer? Yes, you totally can. Let me show you how to do that. Let's say we want the butterfly to follow our mouse pointer. So we can click on the butterfly. And then there is this block that says glide 1 second to random position. You can drag that out and then click on it to see what it does. So it makes the butterfly glide to a random position. Actually, this blog has a menu. So you can click on random position, and actually, you could choose mouse pointer from the menu. So now, if I click on this block, the butterfly actually glides to my mouse pointer. So my mouse pointer was there because I was clicking on that. So this glide to mouse pointer block could be helpful for that. Now, the butterfly went to my mouse pointer once, but how do I make it glide to my mouse pointer over and over again so it keeps following it? Well, if you remember these loops that I talked about earlier in the stream, in the control category, we could drag out this forever block and then just put it here. And then if we put the glide 1 second to mouse pointer block inside the forever block, then the butterfly is going to keep following my mouse pointer. So that's, ooh, okay. I see that the stream is still freezing, so maybe I'll just start to wrap up. Anyway, but that's a little bit of code that could get your pet to follow your mouse pointer, which could be really, really cute. Awesome. And thank you everybody for bearing with the stream freezing and all the other, and the audio at the beginning. Thank you for bearing with all of this. Let us wrap up. So, now I promised I would show you how to share. So if you want to share your project, well, you'll need a Scratch account. So let me show you how you could make one. You can click this button that says Join Scratch, which you can see that right here in your project, but you could also see it on the Scratch homepage. You could also see this Join Scratch button. So you click on Join Scratch. Then you can create a username, whatever you like, turtle, dragon, and then some numbers. And then make a password. Make sure it's something really safe, but then write it down. Something safe so it has like a lot of a lot of characters and numbers, but then write it down somewhere so you can remember. Anyway, so you make a password. I won't make an account right now, but if you go through this form, you'll be guided through making an account, and then you'll get an email from the Scratch team, and you just have to click confirm my email in that email you'll get, and then you'll be able to share projects, because you have to confirm your email to be able to share. Then let's say you share your project. I'm going to switch to showing me for a second as I just sign into my account. So I'm signing in to my account, and now that should sign me in. Oh, yep. So okay. Oh, I see. We're still freezing. I'm about to wrap up in a second. So now I've logged in, and then I will call this project My Pets, and then I can click share, and just click this button. Okay, I hope we're back on now. Basically, the last thing that I just wanted to say is thank you so much to everyone for joining, and for your patience as we work through all these things. And you can keep working on your project throughout the week and add it anytime to the studio. I'm really excited to check out all the projects and see your pets. Yeah, that's basically it. I hope you have a good rest of your week. And okay, is the stream? Are people able to see the stream now? I hope they are. I hope they got that last bit. Well, anyway, have fun working on your pets throughout the week. I am so excited to see them. And see you next week at the same time. Yeah, happy making and scratch on.